Welcome to another episode of Greatman Ayilara teaching, where we seek simply to know. Ensure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the notification button, and to share with your friends. Welcome to another episode of Greatman Ayilara teaching, where we seek simply to know. Please ensure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the notification button, and to share with your friends. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Greatman Ayilara teaching, where we seek simply to know because we believe that we are seekers. As we kick off this particular episode and in this particular terrain, we want to answer this question or deliberate over it of who is a born again? Who is a born again? Now, I understand over the time that the phrase being born again has been widely used by some set of people wrongly and also positively. Now, being born again does not have anything to do with any form of religion, so to say. It doesn't. And you could intertwine or interchangeably use the word seeker for being a born again. A seeker is a born again person. Now you will see that that word seems to come alive only in the time of Yeshua. That is the religious leaders of the Christians. But being born again is never a word that was freshly used or new to anybody. Let's go by the way of the scriptures that you have ever read, either Quran or Bible. Now, the record, which if we go by it, says that when the Spirit of life made all mankind in one person, when the Spirit of life created one mankind, it never went back to the soil. The rest of the billions of people on the planet Earth came out of that one he created. So let's just say that the Spirit of life created all the human beings in the world with one singular person at a single time. So the Spirit of life, via the intuition of the very first mankind on this planet, says that of all the things in this garden, we are going by the scripture now. Just take it easy with me. Of all the things in this garden, in this world, of all the creativity, of all the creatures, of all the mountains, of all the fishes and all that, said, take them for yourself, eat. But there is one thing you must not eat all through the days of your life, and that is the knowledge of good and evil. Some people say it's an apple, some people say it's sex, some people say this and all of that. And some people even brought about a serpent, a snake into it, and they gave it an oratory skill, and they said it's talking to them. Now, we were not going to go into that part of the serpent to make our story so sweet and so awesome. We are not fools, we are seekers. He said, of all things you can do, but the knowledge of good and evil, don't ever try to near it. Now, what does it mean? It means that do not choose side all the days of your life. And don't you ever put a tag on yourself. Because when you put a tag on yourself, you'll never be able to leap beyond the boundary of the tag you have put on yourself as a person. So the moment you have a tag on yourself, you begin to see other things that is not tagged along as you as bad. Only those who are tagged along as you are good. So the spirit of life enjoined the very first mankind on this world, on this planet, that with your intuition, do not ever at any point in time choose side. But of all the rest, be inquisitive. What does it mean to each of all the rest of the things in the vast nature of creature and the universe? It means that test everything. Be inquisitive, be curious. Ask questions. Of all the things you see, ask questions. Do not ever choose side all the days of your life. Don't you ever say, I'm bigger than this, I cannot do this, this is what I am, this is what I am not. Don't you ever. What it means to each of all is to be a seeker. Now, being a seeker requires that you are not the enemy of some while you are a friend of some. You are not necessarily against the tree of the field while you are siding the human being in the world. Now, the way you take care of the fishes in the sea is the same way you look at a person that you give birth to. Now, even though you need the leaf of the field to eat and to be nourished, now you don't pluck them or take them without considering that they also are living creature or being. Now, it is when we got to biology class or integrated science class that we began to have no feelings for all other creatures except for ourselves. So we believe that mankind is the most intelligent creature on the planet Earth. And so their life is the only thing that is worth. The animals too have lives. The trees also have life. The leaves of the field also have life. The grass also have life. The fishes in the sea also have life. The birds of the air also have life. Have you ever bothered to actually see that every single thing that you are improving on as technology, as a human race, was learned from all these things that you think are not necessary in life? Now, what am I telling you? Am I saying don't eat them, don't kill them? No, you will surely die if you don't. But do you agree for a second that you are also cannibalistic in nature? If you need to eat other life to be alive, you are also cannibalistic in nature. So let's not go down there. The spirit of life said, of all the things, be cool, relate with them, learn from them. Don't take yourself too higher than the animal in the field. Don't be too higher than the trees of the jungles. Look at the birds of the air. You can never be too intelligent than them. You all are creatures of my own hand. So you must be able to learn from one another, coexist effectively. That's what we call ecology. Ecology. Extensive and encompassing coexisting of all creature in the universe. So he said, do not get to a spot where you put a tag on yourself, where you think you know it all, where you begin to know that this is evil and this is good. Now, in terms of this is evil and this is good that we are talking about, we do not necessarily say that wickedness and being good, being nice. No, that's not what we mean. But putting a tag on yourself and saying that, okay, we are the Christians, every other person goes to hell. We are the Muslim, every other person can die in hell. So do not ever choose side where you begin to now say, this is we are better than the rest. Where you begin to think some people are rated good and some are rated evil. He wanted you to live, the spirit of life wanted you to live in a state of curiosity for the rest of your days, being a seeker. But that wasn't the case. We limited ourselves in terms of improvement the moment we think we have gotten what we want and we seek no more. And that state of mankind where he felt that he has known everything he needed to know to be human and to exist here, he lost touch with the spirit of life. So don't let anybody talk to you about apple, serpent, and all of those things, nakedness and those things. Don't be fooled. Take it aside. The moment mankind began to think that he knows it all, and all he knows so far is cool enough for him to run the rest of his life, he lost touch with the spirit of life. Because the spirit of life is a well of information, constantly updating, constantly being manufactured. What he wants from you today is going to be different from what he wants from you tomorrow, except until the time you give up this body, you will keep learning. He wants you to remain a perpetual seeker all the days of your life. That is why it is easy for a seeker to migrate from being a Muslim to being a Christian, from being a Christian to being a believer in the spirit of life without feeling guilty. So the moment you put a tag on ourselves and we say, okay, we will live by this book, we will live by this rule, we will live by this human doctrine, we lose touch with the spirit of life because we are limited information. Any other thing that we are told that is true, if it cannot be proven by the book that we are living with, we discard them all together and say it is a lie. And so we begin to deteriorate in terms of our possibility to be better than what we currently are. So they live like that. Until a guru came, his name is Yeshua. And then when this guru came, he wanted people to take away the cap and the limitation they have put on themselves. And when he speaks to the people in the West, in the East, North, and South, he will keep telling them that there is a necessity for you to be born again. And in telling them to be born again, he told them how to be born again. He said, except you become like a child, the expectation of the spirit of life for you, you will never be able to achieve it. What happened to you when you were born? You don't know anything. Not because you are evil, not because you are ignorant. You just do not know. You are like an hard disk of a computer memory that was newly formatted. Up until the time it was formatted, it knows how to carry out information. Everything in itself is its memory. It is actually being tagged according to what is stored in it, right? Nothing else exists as information, as knowledge, as light, as improvement, except for what is stored on it. Then one day the owner says, can I have the hard disk? And he put on a command of format. The moment the hard disk is formatted, the hard disk does not have side anymore. Either you used to store video on it or audio on it or whatever it is you have on it, it became as new. Now the hard disk now begin to ask for information, panting for information. I'm not filled up yet. My space is still available. Can I get more information? Can I get more knowledge? Can I get more understanding? That is the meaning of becoming like a child. Now, as a child, you are inquisitive, you are curious, you are asking questions, you are innocent, and you agree that you do not know. And because you do not know, your ability or the potential, the possibility for you to know begin to arise. And it becomes so high because you accept you do not know. So the more a child asks, the more they become intelligent, the more they become logical, the more they are able to reason, the more they begin to form hypotheses, the more they are able to now face the world with so much self-confidence because they are children. So Yeshua said, if you want to really please the spirit of life, there is a need for you to be like a child, be born again. Being born again means to be like a child. To assume that you do not know what you think you know. To assume that you have no knowledge where you think you are an expert. to actually accept for once that you are ignorant of several many things around you and you want more information, even though you have some within you. To for once be able to argue within yourself that what is white is not white and what is black is not black. And for that singular nanoseconds, you are given possibility to more knowledge and light to shine from within you. Asking questions, seeking for answer. And if you check the book of Matthew chapter 7, it says something which most of you have misappropriated and using it to be, okay, answer me, answer me, answer me. He was talking about asking and receiving, seeking and finding, knocking and opening, not in terms of what you are looking for, but in terms of what you are capable of becoming. But the moment you actually need something from the spirit of life, you think you can use the Bible according to your word. It said, ask shall be given. Blah, blah, blah. Isn't that what you do? But Jesus was telling you how to actually live a life of obtainability and attainability, where there is nothing that can be refused you when you perpetually stay in the realm and the state of asking, being a child, being a baby. Most of you have escaped the right knowledge to help you leap from this level of ignorance to that level of knowing because you think you know it all. And when you are taught or you are told, you say, where is that in the Bible? Where is that in the Bible? I started a series on this YouTube channel. I'd like you to go join, to go watch it. It is called The Missing Link. I wrote a story and I intentionally put the character of Yeshua and Martha in the Bible to drive home that point. And I wrote it that Jesus could not raise the dead. And at the sight of the caption, a lot of people got offended. But they didn't bother to check the story out and see the morals that I'm taking out of it. And those who got to check the story out, even though they could learn something, they forgot, they intentionally neglected lesson in that story and came to attack me, asking me, where is that written in your Bible? Where is that written in your Bible? Those people are living at the same spot that the Spirit of Life said, do not live. Where he said, don't eat of the knowledge of good and evil. Because the moment you eat of the knowledge of good and evil, every other thing you are told is like nonsense to you. And because you have shut your mind against improvement and update, you depreciate in value. Don't you see how so many religious people look like a fool to you? You could see the truth. You are unrest. You feel this pain in you because you have known the truth, because you are a seeker. But because they have actually put a box on the limit, on the extent to which they can grow, you pity them. You cry for them. It becomes a lot of torment for you because you are the real born again. Why? Because you are asking, and in asking, you are getting. In seeking, you are finding. And you are gradually knowing that the spirit of life cannot be encapsulated within Genesis and Revelation. You got to know that dispensation differs. You suddenly realize that a man like you and I wrote the Bible, wrote the Quran, and they are long dead. And what if it applies to their dispensation and we are in a new dispensation where we need new knowledge? You got to know that within you is the most complete scripture you ever needed, the spirit of life that resides in you. So when people are being governed by a book because they feel this is a book of life, this is a book of goodness, while other things are book of evil, you pity them, you are in anguish, you are in sorrow. Within you, you are tormented because you are a born again. Not a born again Muslim or a born again Christian. They try to put those things to make it look. A born again is a born again because it's awakened and is enlightened. It doesn't see life the way it was told to see it. It sees life now the way it should be. is beginning to live a life where a spade doesn't look like a shovel to him. He now sees it in more open-minded perspective. And because his mind is open, the ability to see beyond what is already seen is available for him. So Yeshua always tell people, in order for you to replicate the kingdom of the spirit of life, the very first step is to be born again. What does that mean? The very first step is for you to be enlightened. The very first step for you is to be awakened within you. The very first step for you is to disown and divorce all that you think you know and begin to assume that you do not know. It doesn't cost you any form of shame for you to agree that you don't know if God exists or not. Maybe the person asking you have a better answer. It doesn't cost you anything to agree that you don't know if to pay tithe or first fruit is right or not. The moment you say you do not know, the panting for knowing arise, and the possibility of eventually knowing is sure. So Yeshua will tell people, do not think of yourself as this. Do not think of yourself as this. Do not say that you are this. Do not put a box over your head. Do not define yourself and throw away the key. Do not lock yourself up in a room and say, I need freedom. And because you need freedom, you create a form of privacy for yourself, and your boundless nature is not able to find expression. The very security you want for yourself become your own imprisonment. It says, do not grow up in a layman term. An adult is someone who has been adulterated. Do you know when you want to write the word adulterated, the very first, let's say 5 words in it is the same as adult? Do you know that is the same as adult? An adult is a born again, is a little child that has been adulterated. Are you an adult or a child? In the realm of your intelligence, in the realm of your divinity. Because the moment you begin to assume the level of an adult, you have been adulterated so badly that to begin to, what you are taught or what you are told is what you believe is true, not what you have found out yourself. So an adult will tell you, you can't tell me what to do. I know what is right. You can't tell me what to do. But a child will keep asking you, Mama, is this right? Papa, is this right? What is this? While you are giving a child an answer, is asking or she's asking more from it. And because they are asking, they seems to be more intelligent than most of their parents. You realize that the battle between a child and their parent most times is a battle of inferiority complex, because some parents are very scared that their children are outsmarting them. Outsmarting them. And when a child begins to outsmart you, it's a good thing, right? It's a very good thing. You want to have a child that is better than you are. But what happens to you is you put them in school to be further doctored and indoctrinated. You put them in classes to be further formatted and be tagged. You tell them this is God's nature, this is devil's nature. You don't dare say this. You don't answer this question. You don't ask this question. You don't do this. You don't do that. You don't go there. You don't. You give them a lot of adulteration of their ability to become better. That when they grow up, they have been reduced to your own perspective of life. Some of you even tell them what class to go to and what course to study. So a born again is someone who assumes that I don't know, I want to know. A born again is not a Christian, because a Christian is the one who determines his life by all of those books in the New Testament, right? You can be more than that. Men like you wrote those books. And for God's sake, for heaven's sake, for whatever it is that you believe in sake, most of those books are leading you astray today. For example, do not be unequally yoked with an unbeliever, has caused so many of you not to marry the person that is the love of your life. Just because they see word, they see life from a different perspective than you do. Women cannot speak in public, has reduced so many of our women in the world today to nothing but useful in the kitchen and in the bedroom, because you want to follow the book. If you divorce your spouse, you cannot remarry again except the other one dies, has turned so many of you into a murderer today. Just to have ability to be able to marry when you leave this person you don't love anymore, you poison them, you kill them. You can't lie. And the other part of the book, which says jihad and all of those things, just because you think you kill people, you kill yourself, you think the one who made them is happy with you, will reward you with 72 virgins over there. Just because you live by the book. Just because you have decided to yourself that this is going to be the truth and this will be the lies. This is going to be good, this is going to be evil. This is the knowledge of good and evil, and I'm sticking to them. You, at that instant, detach yourself from the very possibility that the spirit of life have in store for you. When he told you to not choose side. A part of your scripture says that test all spirit. What does it mean to test all spirit? Testing all spirit does not mean you are being suspicious of people, either they have witchcraft and all of those things. Testing all spirit means that you test every knowledge, you ask for every information, you agree that you are in a state of, I do not know, I want to know. Either you are true or you are lying, either you are sincere or insincere. I will not take side. I will seek to be able to know who you truly are. But a lot of you now, like right now, are living a life of recommendation. What was recommended for you by your parents? What was recommended for you by your guru? What was recommended for you by your yogi, by your pastors and your imam is what you live on, not what you have discovered for yourself. It is the Bible. It is the word of God. Were you there when God wrote it? It is the Quran. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that gave it to me. Were you there? I had a vision. I saw Jesus on my way to Damascus. Who is your witness? Oh, I was in a hotel room. I had 18-hour vision. And God told me to go and liberate the world. Who was there with you? Who is your witness? I was taken away by the whirlwind for 7 years. I was in the bush, and God told me to come out and begin to start this ministry. Who is your witness? God is telling me right now that all of you should empty your account and come and put it before his throne, lay it down in the apostles' feet. Who is your witness? Because if you are truly a born again, you will ask questions. That is the characteristics of a born again, the characteristics of a seeker. Who can witness what you have said? At least it is until we can confirm from the mouth of 2 or 3 that the truth shall be established. Who is the witness? The Lord told me, the Lord told me, the Lord is whispering to my ear, Daddy is telling me, my daddy said, who is your witness? Who is your witness? A born again will ask, who is your witness? A born again will be curious enough to ask, who is there when you were told these things? Who else can witness to the fact that it is truly your daddy telling you to tell me this? A born again is restless. A born again is inquisitive. A born again is a seeker. A born again queries everything. A born again have a mind of a child, not knowing what to accept as truth or lies, but checking everything out, testing all spirit in order to find out the one that he can go. But look at what the world has turned into today. Being born again to many people means saying, Lord Jesus, come into my heart, I give my life to you, and that's all. And after the prayer, nothing changes. Life don't change, community don't change, environment don't change, lifestyle don't change. Because we think being born again is a rhetoric word that we can say, now you are now a born again child of God. Your name has now been written in a book of life. Who told you that? Who told you that? No wonder people spend the rest of their days doing evils, and at the deathbed, they say, Lord Jesus, and we think Yeah, they are in paradise, enjoying heaven with the spirit of life now. That's a lie. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. A true born again person in this world is a game changer. A game changer. If truly you are born again, you will not be where you are right now. You will be seeking or would be meeting with other people, asking them, what do you understand by this and that? Not only debating the scripture, but debating your own life, your actions, your inactions also. A born again is a community developer. A born again is a grassroots developer, grassroots transformer. A born again is someone who will not take no for an answer. A born again will not be told that this is evil, this is good, and they will just take it like that without confirming. Jide is a married man, so pompous and so full of himself. His wife was already getting sad. The home was becoming a ghost. Everything he says had to be final. He wouldn't take in suggestions from his children or his wives. And one day he took a ride, had an accident, hit his head on the dashboard, and he lost his memory. At first, to his wife, that was a bad thing. But then she realized that I could use this moment to change this man. So Jide does not even know his name is Jide anymore. Doesn't even know if Tayo is his wife anymore. He's got 3 children. He doesn't even know if they belong to him or not. So he would always ask questions. He would always ask questions. Where should I put the cup? Where should I put this and that? And after 3 years, he regained his memory. And when he regained his memory, he was still confused. And he realized that this wife of his, who used to dread him before, now was pecking him. These children who used to run into the house before, they were around him. One was making his leg nails, one was massaging his head, one was, giving him water and all that. The house was well decorated. Pictures of him and his wife and children all over. They've taken so many trips, and everything was so rosy. And he was wondering, what did I wake up to? He wanted to react, but what he can see in his home is beautiful. He wanted to change, but the atmosphere is so awesome. He himself loved what he can see. And when his wife got back, he asked, Tayo, what happened here? This looks like heaven. And Tayo said, for the past 3 years, you lost your memory. All these past 3 years, you asked me what to do. All these past 3 years, you learned from your children. All these past 3 years, you were able to succumb to your ego. And in knowing or seeking, in asking how to love us, not assuming how we want to be loved, look at the atmosphere you have created. And Jide said, I'm never going to go back to my old self. Now I'm refreshed, I'm new. Now I have learned not only to assume that this is how these people want to be loved, but I've learned from them how they want to be treated and how they want to be loved. That is the life of a born again. He remained Jide, but his internal system and operating system was formatted. He became a new person. And in seeking to know, how do you want to be loved? What can I do to help you? What do you think is the truth? Is this really what is happening? Where can we go? What can we do? Who is God? Where is the devil? Is the spirit of life good? Is he bad? Where can we go? Are we going to die? If we die, where are we going to? And all of it. In knowing all these things and asking questions, what you do is you become the very greatest level of your possibility in life. So today I enjoin you to be like Jide. Be born again. Not becoming a religious person. Not saying, Lord Jesus, I come unto you today. But within you, can you be a new man? Within you, can you for once neglect all that you have learned all this while and say, I want to seek the real path. I want to remain a child, just like Jesus told me. I want to forever be a child within me, such that when someone offends me, I am quick to let it go. When I have two things, I am quick to share with others. When I do not understand, I don't make assumption, I ask questions. And everywhere I get to, I don't lord myself over people. I ask them, how do you want to be treated? How may I help you? How can I love you? How can I treat you? How can I be of service to you? And in meeting with people, you assume they know better than you. So instead of telling them what to do, you ask them what can be done together. Being born again requires you to be community engaging, not by charity work alone, but whoever you see, become their friends. I took a trip to Ogun State yesterday, and on my way coming back, one of the highly revered GO in this country was teaching. And he was teaching how if you want to be a favorite of God, you can't afford to be asking questions from God, querying God, and all of those things. And another one started talking about tithe. And the driver said, what do we see to it? Is it true? Is it not true? And that was the only opportunity I needed. And I started talking. We were 9 in that particular picnic bus, overload and all that. And between the town of Ijebu-Ode to Lagos, all of them said they are not going to be either Christians or Muslim again. I really thank the Spirit of Life who gave us a seeker as a driver, who allowed everybody to express themselves. And when it was my turn to talk, instantly, all of them denied Bible and Quran as their manual for living. They said, we want to find out who the Spirit of Life is for ourselves. We will no longer be ruled by the tradition and the culture of the people of Middle East. We will look for him and we'll find him. And I told them, whenever you are looking for him and finding him, don't go beyond yourself. He's here. You know what is good, what is bad. You know exactly what you do. And when you are doing the wrong thing, there is something within you that is convicting you. But when you are left in the dark, ask for people to show you the way. Fellowship with people who ask questions. And they say, I think, and we think this is the best way to go. Whatever you find yourself as a seeker, what are you doing? Are you showing your light? Are you creating atmosphere of question and answer? Are you creating atmosphere of everyone finding expression? For whatever it is that you have discovered as a seeker that cannot be queried is your darkness. And I say that again. Whatever it is that you have found out to be true as a seeker that can never be queried is your darkness. You are yet to be a seeker. You are not yet enlightened. You are not yet awakened. You are not a born again. A born again remains in the state of childhood and begin to ask. Ask from the time you are giving birth to the time you are leaving this world, because there is much more to explore in this world than what you think you already know. And it has nothing to do with your physical age or the state of your spirit. That is how we migrate from being a mortally oriented people to divinely orchestrated human being. Then you live above the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of your life. My name is Greatman Ayilara. You have any questions you want us to settle, you want us to answer, you want us to talk about, send your inquiry to greatmanayilara@gmail.com, greatmanayilara@gmail.com. And if you also are joining us for the first time, press the subscribe button and also the notification button somewhere around the right-hand corner. You can follow me on all my social media to keep up to date with all our humanitarian service at the Greatman Ayilara, both on Facebook and also on Instagram. Till the next time I come at your face again, reject the knowledge of good and evil. Don't put a tag on yourself. Remain in a state of curiosity. Be a seeker. Be enlightened and be awakened. Be a born again every single day, again and again. Be a baby again. Be a child again. Always ask, what is white, what is black, even though you can see it as white and black before you. Always be inquisitive, because in finding, you will seek, you will see what you are looking for. In asking, you will get the answer. And in seeking, you will get to that place where it will not just be mortally oriented, but your reality in divinity will begin to show. Namaste.